Welcome to the Premier Betting Show. I am your host, Tycoon, and this is the Talent Fox. How are you tonight, Fox? How's it going, man?
I am exhausted, but good. How are you?
I am similar, exhausted for different reasons.
Yeah.
Probably slightly less exhausted than what you're having to deal with. But we're nearing the end of the week. We're getting to talk
Oh,
some
thank
some
goodness.
football. I'm excited, so I'm
Yes.
happy. This is a way to put some of that exhaustion to the side for a minute and just have some fun.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah, man. So, real quick, small news note from your club that you're rocking proudly there in your dome. Your
And here.
star, the heart and soul of, oh, I didn't catch the shirt, of your club, Mo Salah. Might want to take some of that sweet Saudi money. The live soccer, huh? No, live football.
Yeah, seriously. Well, and again, it's one of those things where it's like you hear one thing and then it's another, and then now it's another thing again where it's like, no, he's not leaving, not interested. And now all of a sudden it's like he can't wait to get the hell out. So Liverpool says they're not selling his. I haven't seen since this morning what his agent has said again, but it kind of seemed like once everybody else departed Liverpool for the Saudi money that it was clear he wasn't leaving, and then all of a sudden it just pops up again that, oh, I might be leaving. So
Wonder if they up the offer on him. I mean,
I think they did, and it's I've heard it's insane, which I not a fan of it. What's going on with all this? But I get it. You got to do what's right by
yeah, I
you.
mean,
But
I don't love the situation around that
no,
in sports and with the Saudi Public Investment Fund, but I really can't begrudge an individual if these guys come and say, "Hey, we'll give you fucking $800 million for 2 years." Like I'm
yeah,
like, yeah,
seriously,
I mean, I'm doing it, so I'm not gonna judge anybody else for that. I'll tell you that. But
no.
it
When you
sucks
get a
for
chance
everybody
to,
else. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you get a chance to double, triple your money. Like, take care of yourself. I mean,
your
he's getting
family's
up
set up
there, so
for
it's, yeah,
generations upon generations.
yeah,
Your
you're
family will
set for
never have to
life.
work again ever.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not a fan, but I get it.
Yeah. So, well, but I do agree with you. I don't think they'll let him go. Certainly not without a viable replacement. I mean, there's just no what do they gain out of it? And I don't think Salah will become that much of a malcontent and sabotage the club in such a way. So, I
No, I don't think so
I
either. I
think
mean,
he'll stick
the
around.
only benefit of it is the club's now flush with cash, so it's like I get it, but I mean, you're just a couple more pieces away from having a team that truly can compete at the top. So I think they're gonna, I wouldn't say force him to, but they're gonna put their we're gonna put our fist down and be like, no, you're staying here. Let's ride this out for the season, and then I think that when the season's over, he is gone. But like, let's just see what we can get first.
Yeah, I think they'll hold firm for the year.
Well, especially with the window like a week and a half from closing, not even that.
Oh yeah, with that close, yeah, but they're not going to work it out that fast. So
I don't think so. And if they do, I literally think it's like the 11th hour he's out. So not not thrilled, but I think he stays.
Harry Kane style.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the matchups, though, shall we? So we will start with. Sorry, my apologies. We will start with Chelsea hosting Luton Town. And this is the first of many seemingly lopsided matchups that we're going to have. So let's get into this one. Chelsea, what do you think?
So I mean, clearly by the odds here, Chelsea are the massive favorite here, and I actually think this game is tight. I haven't been impressed at all with Chelsea. Um, I still think they've got some stuff to work out, and clean up on, uh, especially defensively. I mean, Luton Town, but they've had 2 weeks to prepare. I know they're going into Stamford Bridge, but I think this game's a tight game. I don't I don't see this being a high scoring game, but this is one where, you look at the score at the end and it's 1-0. That wouldn't shock me. Like, this should be an absolute blowout of like a 3-0 kind of game, but I don't see that happening here at all. So I don't like much in this one. Um, I mean, only one that's tempting is probably the, you know, no on both to score, but even at minus 140, I'm not thrilled with it because I can kind of see them conceding a goal late. But
I'm drinking the juice all day long. While I agree with you overall, I could see this being just 1-0. Like I wouldn't, Chelsea with minus 1.5 is minus 165. So
yeah,
I mean, clearly that's where it leans. But I could easily, see, I'm not confident enough to take Luton at plus 1.5. Don't get me wrong.
no, not at all.
But I have zero confidence that Chelsea's going to cover that. But I am confident that Luton Town is going to be unable to score against Chelsea. I totally see a 1, maybe 2-0 type game, and I think it's just going to honestly. I think it's going to be kind of a sludge. This game. I don't think it's going to be particularly
No,
entertaining. I think it's going to be an
no,
ugly, slow game.
no. This is the one that you just watch back to see the highlights, and there probably won't be many. Um, I was kind of hoping the under 3.5 would be a little lower because I like that, but 165 is
Love that.
way too
Yeah.
much for me. But that's another one that if it dropped a little bit more before game time, I would probably be trying to take that. If it dropped to 140, I'd take it, but I can't see it dropping that much before kickoff. So everything else here, I'd stay away from. I mean, if you want, I would almost take a stab at a draw here, but that I do. I mean, Chelsea is too talented, and they should put this game away. But it's Chelsea. I can see this being one of those crazy games that, like last week, they should have won, but they get
A lot of things can
embarrassed.
happen.
Yeah,
If you
but
put
overall,
both teams, if
I'm
you
just
put
staying
both
away from
teams to
this one.
score no and under 3.5, you get plus 110. I probably wouldn't do
Oh,
that. I'm just going to stick with both teams to score no. I mean, I
yeah,
think
I
I think
don't
that'll
I
hit
don't
it,
hate
but
that.
it's not enough coming back for me.
No.
So we'll move on to a slightly tighter matchup here, and that is Bournemouth hosting Tottenham.
And I said, I don't know if it was our first episode or if it was our first week of matchups, but Tottenham was on my no list. I think I'm ready to take them off. They've looked
You are.
good. They have looked solid, and man, they don't give a shit that Harry Kane's not there. um,
They have looked good. I mean, I'll grant you that. I
I,
think I'm
and I
still
and I'm
gonna
wondering
check.
if it's one of those things that's like just the weight is lifted off, so they can play a little freer, um, and kind of have because they're playing through the midfield a little bit more, which I like, and then which is funny because the guys you wouldn't necessarily think like Son still hasn't showed up. Richarlison, not shocking, but he hasn't shown up either. So, like, once they can get these two guys more involved, I think they could actually be a pretty dangerous team. But Bournemouth hasn't been all that impressive. Um, I know last year they were able to pull it off against Tottenham, but with the way the both have started, you're just going two different directions.
Right.
Uh, The minus 105, I love that here. So I'm going to take the Tottenham money line for sure.
One
And then
unit.
it's just kind of ridiculous after that. The both to score is minus 190.
Yeah, it's
You know,
wild.
like this to me it'll still be like Tottenham will pull this off, but I think it's like I think this is like a 3-1 kind of game. Like I think they make a statement again. Um, I do like the minus a half at 115. I like that. But I think if I'm taking anything here, it's just the money line.
One full unit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I failed to
Yeah.
add for everybody off the top, but all odds that we are showing here and moving forward will be from DraftKings Sportsbook. If you have access to others or other preferences, certainly always encourage you to shop around. For the sake of simplicity for the show, though, we're going to just lean on the most widely available U.S. sports
Yes.
book with a clean
Well, and
interface. I know
they're
FanDuel has the largest market share, but their interface is hideous, so we're going to lean with
yes.
DraftKings.
Well, and there are some sites that do offer all these kind of like the spread over unders and like money line for multiple sites. So if you can find something like that too, that's always a good thing to look out
Yeah,
for because
there's a
that'll
lot
help
of
you
line
find
shopping sites.
your best odds. But generally looking at most of the stuff, 9 times out of 10, DraftKings does seem to have the better lines.
I haven't really looked much as far as football goes on FanDuel, but especially with baseball, it's definitely better on DraftKings. So, and with American football, it is as well. So, yeah, I have every reason to believe that it stays that way across the board. All right, so we got 1 unit Tottenham money line minus 105. We move on to the mighty red, Manchester United, hosting Nottingham Forest. And this is another just lopsided matchup, at least odds wise.
Well, this one, I kind of thought that originally. I like how
Odds
Nottingham's
wise.
played. Yes. But, I mean, Man U's at home. They've honestly been embarrassed 2 games in a row. I mean, you squeaked out a win that it should have been a draw. And then you get a Forest team who, I mean, they've looked decent, but this is a team that Man U should dominate. They dominated them their last 4 games. I don't think Forest has even scored in the last 4 they've played against him. If this was at Forest, I would feel completely different and wouldn't even touch this game. Um, but I do like Man U like to throw into a parlay for this one. I think they come out and get their shit straight finally and kind of start to get things back on track. There's not a whole lot I like here either, just because the odds are just so high. Like
Horrible.
I love the under 3.5,
Love it. Oh my god.
but 165, I'm not touching it. Both the score is interesting, but this one is I don't trust their defense yet. Um, and Force can counter pretty well, so I can see this being a game that Man U, for the most part, dominates, and then Forest can get one in towards the end of it while trying to claw their way back in. But I'm going to stay away from pretty much everything on this one and just use Man U as a parlay. And even then, I get it if you don't want to. They're hard to trust right now.
Now, for the money line, I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't walk away with the W. But I mean, that's a horrible, straight bet to take. And yeah, anything else related is just anything attractive in this match is just juice to high hell. It's terrible.
Very much, yes.
And a similar position for this match as well. The Gunners, my boys, Arsenal, hosting Fulham. Heavy favorites, Arsenal, of course, as they should be, as they always should be. Sorry, just can't help myself. I mean, yeah, like the under minus 145. Arsenal minus 1.5 is even, or minus 1.5 is even minus 165. Like, this is gross.
I like Fulham at +2 though, at minus 136.
Even with that, 136 is.
Well, and I honestly, you're probably Probably looking at. Well, I guess it's not too bad, but yeah, this is one of those ones that it's. I think this is going to be tighter than it looks as well, but um, I I I like the both to score no here
I do
at
too.
one minus 125. Um, and I think when they played last year, it was I think 2-1 and like 2-0. So it's a good possibility. Fulham haven't looked great, but they haven't looked awful either. And I think they're about on par with like a Crystal Palace who played Arsenal pretty well last week.
They
So
did.
um but I think with also that is like
I
I
think
mean
Palace is
Arsenal
a better
played.
team, if I'm being honest, though. I mean,
Oh, I agree. I agree. And Arsenal, I think, is still trying to find some of their footing with, you know, Havertz and the rest of the pieces coming together. And I think it's finally starting to take. They looked better. So, um, I, th- I think they do shore this one up here. It's another tight game. I think this is a maybe 1-2-0 kind of game.
also how I see it.
Yeah.
Also how I see it.
So I'd be happy taking the no here.
Yeah, I'll take the no at minus 125. I forgot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still a little more than I'd want to pay in this particular match, even for Arsenal, but
And I
just
like it.
that's probably about the max I would take it. If it goes to 130 or higher, I wouldn't take it. But at
Yeah.
125,
Yeah, I mean, and they're home too, so I like it even more with it being,
yeah.
you know, with them in charge. So I think I think the under, if it comes down a little bit as well, the under 3.5, I'd probably take that too. But yeah, for now
If
it's
the
just
under
the
gets to like 135, I think I would hit it because I really like. But
yes. And the unfortunate thing is I know the money
you get a
lines will
dime
shift a
off it.
little bit, but yeah, unders and spreads, the shift on those is minimal at most. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't think it drops lower than 140.
And in that case, I'm still staying away.
Yep.
So, do we have an official Premier Betting Show bet here? PBS bet on the no of both teams to score.
Yeah, I like that. Absolutely.
All right, 1 unit. Arsenal Fulham, both teams to score no, minus 125, DraftKings Sportsbook. And from London, we venture on over to Brentford, hosting Crystal Palace.
Hmm.
Closer
This
matchup.
one, I like this one. Um, I think we get a decent amount of goals.
I do.
Both have looked. I mean, Palace should have had a draw last week with Arsenal and they got robbed. It's
Nah,
I
great
mean,
call.
and but
Impeccable refereeing.
oh, good lord. Uh, well, I mean that just goes to show they missed that, and then the red card was a goddamn
Actually, no,
joke.
I think you're right. I think it was a rough night for the crew overall.
Yes, I get it. You're trying to speed parts of the game up, so the yellow card initially was solid. You're taking too long
Yeah,
throwing the
the
ball
first
in.
one
I
was
get
fair.
it,
Yeah.
but I mean the the second yellow was just so stupid. Like it was unnecessary. It wasn't worthy of the red, or it wasn't worthy of the call itself to have him sent off. Um, but it was one of those games where it truly felt like Palace was going to score at any minute and just could not get it in, and then to have the penalty missed, to not even have a chance, because I get it, you still have to make the penalty, but to not even get the call to have it go to
Right.
that was just so frustrating because that was just right there. But I mean, that's just going to say that like Palace played Arsenal really well, and I
They did.
know, I know part of that was sure like it looks lopsided because they got to go on the attack for the majority of the second half, but I think overall they held their ground against a superior team. They looked pretty good, and I mean Brentford's been the same way. Um, I really like this to be a draw. Like that's what I'm putting my money on. Their last 4 games have all been draws.
Hmm.
And I think they're both kind of playing at the same level right now. And I think that's where this goes again. Is it's just another we're heading for another draw. Um, I like them both to score here, and that's minus 125. I like that. Um,
Yep, that's where I'm going here.
the over under on this one, ugh, I don't like either one because this is just one where I think it's like a 2-2 game, but I just don't trust it enough to take. I love it at plus 100 to go 2.5, but it's just too wishy washy for me. That
Yeah, you feel better about just both teams to score. I mean, take that,
yep.
1-1. You at least feel a lot better about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I think I'm really strong on the draw too. That would be my other takeaway on this one. And I usually don't like to go out for a draw, but I mean, all signs point to it being the case. So, but
I don't
officially,
hate it.
officially, both to score for sure.
All right. Well, we're in agreement on that one as well. So Brentford versus hosting Crystal Palace. Both teams to score. Yes. Minus
Hmm.
125. 1 unit. DraftKings Sportsbook. From there, we move on to the next matchup Everton versus Wolverhampton. So,
Oh, I see this one being
what do you
gross.
think?
Um, and I see you put Everton money line.
I did.
I like the Wolves here. Um, and the Wolves, their last 4, 3 wins, 1 draw, so Everton can't even get it done. But and I get it, they're both the bottom of the table, but
They are.
if I'm looking at it, Everton deserves to be at the bottom where they are. Dead last, you suck. Like that's where they belong. Wolves does not. They they should have pulled that game. Honestly, they should have beat Man U. If not, that's a draw.
I still put more of that on a bad performance than by Manchester than
Oh,
a
see,
good
I give
performance
it
by
mixed. I think
the
part of it
Wolves.
is yes, Man U was trash, but part of it was because I think they weren't expecting Wolves to come out like they did. I mean, you get a blatantly wide open miss to draw the game, and I think there was even something I forget what it was later, but it should have put the game away for Wolves. And I just think they're the better team overall. I know they get blasted in their second game, but they still look like a much better team. I can see them again with their counter. I don't think Everton can take it. I don't care if it's at Everton. I really like Wolves on this one.
I do care that it's at Everton, and that's why I like their money line. I honestly think it's just a matchup of two bad teams, and I'm going to take the home team here. That's largely what it's boiled down to for
I
me.
get it. I'm gonna take
Yeah, Everton hasn't
the
even scored
better.
yet. I think you already said that, so they haven't scored yet.
Nope.
The Wolves only have 1 goal. I mean, Everton got smoked by Villa, but I like Villa a
Yeah.
lot. So I mean, I'm not. I expect them to get smoked by Villa.
See,
Lost by 1 to
I do
Fulham.
like
Not great, but hey.
no. No,
It's
but overall, this is just a gross matchup. Like,
yeah.
no way you look at it, it's just gross. Um, honestly, I even like could consider the draw here, but I I think this is kind of a. I know it's only week 3, but I think this is a game for both of them that it's like someone has to come out on top on this one. It's like they no one's going to settle for the draw here. They're going to push,
I think
and
so too.
somebody's going to get over the line. And I think it's the
And
Wolves.
you
I
like the
think it's
Wolves
Wolves. Like,
with
yeah,
that, yeah.
I think they're just the better of the worst teams.
They may be, but I'm going home, home pitch here with the battle of the God. I don't even want to. Everything I can think of to make an analogy is offensive, so I'm not going to say things like that. But this
And
is
this
truly
one,
just a bad matchup. Correct.
so like I would lay it out
I'm only
as
putting half a unit on the Everton money line for everybody. Just my
I
own say.
and
Half a unit. That's all I'm doing.
I would do the same for Wolves. But this is one where I take Wolves money line. I would take the under 2.5, and I would take both to score no on all those. I think this is a low scoring game. I don't think Everton scores. I think this is just a gross, dragged out 1-0 win. Go Wolves. Move on.
All right, we'll move on to much better teams in Brighton
Yes.
and West Ham.
Yes, and I actually think this is gonna be a fun game to
It
watch.
should be a good game.
Um,
I think we think for the same reasons.
yes, I mean Brighton has looked fantastic, but
Mhm.
I think they're getting a little too much credit on this line. I don't think it should be this high.
No, that's a lot.
Um, but this is one that I don't like anything on just because everything else is so high. Um, I love the over 2.5, but I'm not touching it at 175. Like that's just ridiculous.
Right.
And I noticed like this week the over unders were just wild with
Wild as shit.
the lines on them. I haven't seen lines like this where I mean I don't think I wanted to take any of them just because they're so gross. I mean your best ones that you're getting are still like minus 145. I don't like that either. Um And this
Yeah.
is where it is though, that it's over 2.5, and you're just like, okay, the odds are screaming it's gonna happen. This is where you hit the under, and it'll land. But I don't want to play those kind of games either. Um
Yeah, it does feel like one of those weeks, man. I'm just not touching anything here, period.
no, and the other one and the first thing I immediately thought of was I wanted to know what West Ham spread was, and the plus 1.5 at minus 185 is absurd. Like I really thought it'd be lower than that. Um, and then both to score. I think they both score, but again, I'm not taking that at minus 145.
No, can't do it.
Now, this is another one where I think this is probably another like 2, maybe 3-1 win for Brighton. But I think West Ham plays them pretty decent. But I like mainly just the way Brighton has looked. And you're playing at home. This one's a slam dunk, but I don't like any of the odds here. This is another one where I'd throw a parlay in for it instead.
I don't even feel comfortable doing that. As impressed as I have been with Brighton, just not adding enough value to a parlay for me. It shouldn't be over 200. That's just can't do it in good conscience. And yeah, like you said, I think West Ham plays them pretty well too. I think this is more disrespectful to West Ham than it is
Yes, I
too much praise for Brighton because Brighton deserves
100%.
pretty much all the flowers they're getting at the moment. I think, but
Yes. You mean
yeah,
league winning Brighton right now?
league winning Brighton right now. They are at the top of the table. That is a factual statement. And I don't hate it, other than it's not
No.
Arsenal. But if there's another team, I'm not gonna be upset at their success. It's Brighton. They're fun to watch. I enjoy this club.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we move forward to
Yeah,
Man City
this one
going
will
to
be quick.
Sheffield. It's we'll throw Man City money line in a parlay maybe, and
Oh,
that's
I'm taking Sheffield United here.
want
No, this one's quick and
to
easy.
take the exacto score: Sheffield 3,
Yeah.
Man City 1.
We just spoke it into existence. Um,
Pay your rent for the month. Let's go.
yeah, seriously. No, this one, the odds were so stupid on anything for this, and it should be. Um, so I went and had a little fun with this one, and I took Man City over 2.5 goals and both to score no for a nice plus 210.
So you like at least a 3-0 or 3-0
It
match
should
for
be. I
should
think
be.
that's what it ends up being. I think it's a 3-0 game. Um,
It's not horrible.
Sheffield has looked like crap. So, and
Yeah.
despite
City should win.
losing your general, Man City has looked fantastic in the Premier League, at least. Um, a lot of these guys
Yeah.
are stepping up without it being Holland. So, and they
Which
just
is
picked up
scary.
a new winger, and that's going to be even should be even scarier for him. So I hate it, but I'm kind of excited to see how they move forward from here. But this one's too easy.
Yeah. Jamie Tart is going to be a huge addition to that club. Yes. All right. So we'll move
Absolutely.
on to where we might have a little bit of conflict, which is Burnley versus Aston Villa. So I don't think it's a secret, where these clubs currently stand and have come from. So you obviously see who the favorite is here, but you're liking the underdog here, if I am correct.
Well, I do. I
Maybe not
like
for
the under.
betting, but
I like the underdog, but I do logically. I do think Aston Villa does take this game, especially. I mean, I know they just played in Europa, so they might have some tired legs. And Burnley's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. Um, and I do like Burnley a lot. I think they have what it takes to stay up for at least a season, if not longer. Um, but that was my immediate thought was like, oh shoot, they already played. They're gonna be tired. But then just watching the performance they had, I mean, they just absolutely decimated. And I kind of think that carries them on into this match. So where I do like Aston Villa's money line, it also is one of those things that I can see Burnley pulling off an upset here, but um, just with what we've seen so far, this should be an Aston Villa win.
yeah, and that's where I'm leaning. Honestly, I love that it's available at plus money, like you said, probably largely because of Villa's Europa match earlier this weekend, Burnley's rest time. Uh, and
Right,
these are elite athletes. It's early in the season. That doesn't concern me as much right now. If we were
right.
later in the season, a tournament game might,
Yeah, I
make
agree.
me factor
Well,
that in a little bit more.
and especially because the competition's tighter too. Then, whereas like you're playing almost minor league teams here to start these kind of
Right.
leagues off. So I think
It's
they're
just
still getting the right kind of reps, but I just don't. Burnley's not going to lay down for this one. Um,
no, they won't lay down, but I do think that'll be another, just welcome to the Premier League reminder from Villa to them.
yeah, and I like the over 2.5 at -125. The both the score as for yes is 155. I don't like that at all.
No.
Um, but yeah, I would take the Aston Villa money line here, and um, yeah, if you like it, I like the 2.5 over 2.5 as well. I think
So,
this one can actually be like a decent scoring game as well.
all right, so money line's going on the ledger, of course. That's going to be a,
Yeah,
a unit from us then. Over
yeah,
an official pick as well.
yeah. Let's do it. I like it.
All right, official pick or official picks. We've got two here in the Burnley Villa matchup. Aston Villa money line plus 110. Ah, that is just beautiful to say. Plus 110, one unit. Over 2.5, minus 125, one unit. DraftKings Sportsbook. All
Yeah, I
right.
like that
All
the
right.
Aston Villa's money line jumped up a little bit too.
Yeah.
I originally it was only 105. I'll take the little bit extra there.
Yeah, man. Hey, the nickel helps. It heads up in the end.
Yes, it does.
A nickel here, nickel there over a season long of bets. I mean, you're talking multiple units of difference. So, especially on any bigger bets you might have. And it makes a
Oh yeah.
bigger difference if you're ever putting them into parlays. So,
Oh, absolutely.
Final matchup: Newcastle hosting your boys with the malcontent Mo Salah, Liverpool.
Newcastle be damned. I'm so excited about this game. Like, whether I'm a Liverpool fan or not, this is
Match of the week.
match of the week. And we got McAllister back, so
All right.
praise be in that bullshit red card. Especially with it being a straight red and losing the chance of having him gone for 3 games is just second I saw that, I knew that was coming back. But yeah, the red cards handed out this year so far are insane already. I think it was 5 this last weekend alone.
Jesus.
Yeah. But man, I want to take Liverpool. The plus 205 just is, it's screaming to me.
Tempting.
Oh, but I like the draw here. I like the draw. Newcastle has looked good. They I won't say they played scared against Man City, but I thought that was going to be a much better game than it was. I mean, they only lost 1-0, so you're happy with that. But the way, I mean, City just controlled the ball. I think with this one, Newcastle will be able to attack a little bit more against this Liverpool side. I know Endo, I don't know if he's going to be starting, but he's got another game under him with the team. I think that could help them out, but I think that's where it helps them. You know, you've got more of a defensive set guy that can play kind of everywhere, but my gut just says this is a draw. This is like a 2-2 draw. If it was at Liverpool, I would lean Liverpool, and I know the last 4 Liverpool's own them. But Newcastle's a different team. I mean, they both are, and it's not like they're heading different directions. It's Liverpool's been here and Newcastle's kind of here. Now it's, Newcastle's creeping up, and you're going into St. James. Yeah, I don't like it for the Reds, but I think officially I would say draw.
All right, official pick, draw. We got some plus money here, baby. Finally, we got something that can pay out.
But because I mean, pretty much everything else.
I don't really like anything else myself.
No, the one that intrigued me though was it to be was both to score and it be a draw. That intrigued me a little bit, and that's minus 105 for yes. So that would be my only other one that I would like if I'm taking a pick here. That would be my other one that intrigues me because I think it's a 2-2 draw, so you hit right there. I usually don't try and mess with those, especially if you're already trying to predict, if you're already taking the money line, or not the money line, but it being a draw. I would almost couple it in there because why not? But if you don't want to risk all that money, I could see you kind of laying off, but I don't know. For the sake of just the intrigue, I'd probably throw it down. And it's good odds. I like it.
So officially, though, are we leaving it with just the draw?
Yeah, I'll just take the draw.
All right. So we got one.
Leave it up to everyone else. Make your own judgment on that one. But I do
higher
like
level of risk there. We'll just put it that way.
Yes. And if I did, I mean, it's minus 105. I'd probably just do a half unit anyway.
Certainly. All right. So side bet, half unit. Both teams score draw, yes, minus 105. Official, 1 unit. Draw between Newcastle and Liverpool at plus 295. Sexy. I like it. I'm not super confident in any of it, but I think a draw is reasonable to throw something at.
With how both have played, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, that's where it's headed.
I get it. I get it. All right. So we'll move forward to a couple of juice reducing parlays. We'll start with the parlay play of the day.
Yes. Only a
Got
3-pick parlay here.
really, yeah.
I'm taking Arsenal, Brighton, and Man City's money lines. I mean, it only gets you plus 119, so take that for what it is, but plus money is plus money. And I think these are all very winnable games for each of these teams. So I do like this one.
Plus 190. I mean, yeah, I'd be pretty floored if any of them did not win.
But like you said, Brighton would be the only one that I have a hint of concern on, but
I don't
if
even have
not,
that
this
much
is
concern. It's the only reason I don't love adding it to a parlay is that it's doing so at already, minus
yes,
205, right? So
right.
having Brighton as part of your three-legger, even with City and Arsenal, I mean, plus 119, it just feels like it should be a little more 140,
Well, and this
150.
is one where I was
Yeah,
going to
I feel
throw
great.
out. I would honestly feel more comfortable throwing Man U in there, but that's just eating it up even more. So
Sure. Well,
I'm taking Brighton just because the odds are a little lower, so you get a little bit more of a return. But I get what you're saying.
let's mess around. Let's add Man U. Let's add Chelsea. Make it plus 246.
I love it. See, and this now is where Chelsea makes me nervous. But
And based on our initial discussion of that matchup, makes sense. Makes sense.
yes, yes, and these ones, it would only be a. I'm only throwing a half unit on both of these.
Yeah. Yeah, half
I'm
unit
not.
each
I'm
would
not
be.
playing with. Yeah, I'm not going to play with that much.
And I'm doing one I didn't throw in here, but kind of mix and match here. Chelsea, Arsenal, obviously, and Villa to get a plus money
I like it. I
into
like
the
it.
mix for a parlay. So if you do those three, it's plus 214 instead of having to rely on five to get into the 200s. So that's another
Yeah,
one I think I'm
but
throwing
you know
half a
what?
unit down on.
All 5 hitting just makes that money sweeter.
Honestly, it does.
But no,
I'm
I
not
agree.
gonna
I'd
lie.
rather take the risk out of it and just give me 3 any day. But I like those.
Yeah, I'm
Villa,
more confident in Brighton winning, but I like adding Villa
yeah.
instead just for the
Villa makes me a
odds.
little nervous, but I I like the risk that goes with it. I'm not mad at
It's
it.
it's just one where I see the public taking that rest narrative, and
It's
it's
real,
just
but
going
like
the
you
wrong way.
said,
Of course, it's real, sure, but
but
it
like you
feels
said,
like it's
it's
one where it seems
so
so
early in
obvious
the
to the public
season.
that's going to obviously be wrong. Like it's kind of
Right.
an opposite pick.
Well, and like you said, if it was towards the end of the season, I'd back off. But with it being, we're 3 weeks
Yes,
in, a lesser competition, so I don't think they're pushing as hard as they should be if they were playing against a higher level team. So, you go and smoke them and get out and you're on your way. I don't think it's as I mean, and I look at it too as you got that extra bit to like kick the rust off a little bit more. So if you have stuff to work out, you're playing against a team that you should be beating regardless. You can kind of
right.
tweak stuff and not have it truly be like, oh shit, like if we lose, we're in trouble. It's, you know, we should win. We go in with that attitude, tweak a couple things, and then go back and I mean, you're yeah, and another like I wouldn't look at it as, oh well, we should beat this team, but you know, they should take Burnley down. It's not like it's Man City or a team like that you're going up against either. So uh, I do like it, but this is one where if Burnley won, I'd be kind of stoked.
I won't hate it other than my bet being wrong.
Yeah. See, but this is one where like I hate losing a bet, but like this is one where I'm not okay being wrong, but it's like it doesn't hurt as much.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the
Yeah.
only negative to the situation would be, oh, the bet
Yeah.
lost, but I can still get into the human side of the story and be happy about it.
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
agree with you. All right, well,
I agree
shall
too.
we Shall we recap here? Get through these picks.
Yes, and I have
Official
my
picks.
official picks to drop in too.
Sexy.
I think,
That's what we're talking about.
I think I got them all there.
All right, well, we're going to do a little rundown here. We got Man City over 2.5 goals, plus both teams to score no at plus 210. That was the nugget that he pulled from an otherwise disgusting slate in terms of that individual
Mhm.
game. Or board, rather, not slate. Tottenham money line, minus 105. Foxes off of the hesitancy, ready to buy in. I'm still
Let's
a little
do it.
nervous, but that is an official pick here. I'm on the other side of my boy here, but he's got Wolves money line plus 220. And I also want to say on our two differing picks last year, both teams to score bets. I did win those. I just wanna, Arsenal,
Yeah.
obviously, is to shut out, obviously. Um, and Arsenal versus Fulham, both teams to score no. They're going to do it again, minus 125. He believes this time. Way to
I
go.
do.
He's
I do.
learning. I'm learning here. No, but this is
Yeah.
good. I love that bet. These are all one unit. Brentford versus Crystal Palace. Draw plus 250. And Arsenal plus Brighton plus Man City plus 119. That is actually a half unit.
Yes.
And we gave you a couple others in there. Aston
Yep.
Villa, we
A lot of
like.
plus money this week.
That should be good if we can hit it.
Yep.
Which I
Well,
think we can.
this is one where I kind of like it just in case, like if you do miss a little bit more than we usually do, the plus money helps make up for it. So it's like you can
It
still
does.
essentially have a down week, but
No, if everything's plus money, you don't even have to be
yep.
500 to be profitable.
Yep.
Now, I'm
I
not
hate
saying do
having to
that,
go
people.
that
But
right. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say I hate having to go that route, but that is the upside to it is that we're a little protected here, but I'd rather hope that we collect all of it instead and not have to worry about any of it. So,
exactly. Hopefully, it's
but
a surplus. I mean, there will be ups and downs throughout the course of a season, a betting
yep.
period. But we're off to a good start. 4-2 last week, up 1.65 units. Overall record on the season is 10-4, up 4.82 units. Looking to push
Good
that
start.
at least,
Yep.
hopefully, over 6 by next week. We can, add another. I mean, obviously, ideally more, but let's just hopefully continue to show consistent growth. That's the goal here. Just keep winning.
Yep.
Never go broke making a profit. That's the idea.
Yes, sir.
And if you do want more of these bets, you want things in real time, make sure you are following the links below. Discord, Instagram, Premier Betting Show. On Discord, we are Rogue Bets, Rogue Fantasy. Either one will help you find our server. That's where you can stay most up to date and can also reach out to us most directly. If you do have any questions, want to discuss
And it's
anything,
free.
it is free. It's wonderful free. There's a lot of paid Discords out there. Screw that.
Yep.
This is a labor of love. We just want to give you
Yep.
information. We all just want to make money together.
Exactly.
If we all make money together, we don't need to charge anybody.
Nope.
And if we do get big enough, we'll charge people for ads instead of charging you guys. So don't worry. It'll always be free for you. Or unless we can develop some amazing proprietary tool that's worth charging for.
Yeah.
Which maybe we'll do.
There you go. Working on it.
But for now, it's all beautiful. So yes, go check us out on the Discord. Come talk to us. Follow us on Instagram, Premier Betting Show. And we also cover more than just English Premier League. That's what we're dedicated to here. But we also cover betting in a variety of sports: basketball, hockey, golf, football, American football. And fantasy football is also a big focus. That's a focus of mine. So follow me, _Tycoon on Twitter, the Fantasy Boardroom on YouTube. New episode last night, dove into running backs and wide receivers for the 2023 season. Make sure you go check it out. Had our first guest, Rasta from Get Right Fantasy Network, on there, provided some great nuggets. A little rushed at the end, but overall a tremendous show. Go prepare for your upcoming drafts. Season is getting close. But make sure you get all these bets in first before the lines change on you as people start preparing for the weekend.
Yes, sir.
And with that, Fox, bid you adieu. Thank you very much. Tremendous, tremendous evening of betting discussion. Same
Absolutely.
to you out there, the listeners, the viewers. Just make sure you go out, take care of these
You
beds,
better
baby.
lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Love it.
Lock them in, baby. Lock them in.
See you guys.